Welcome to Bay Sunday. I'm your host, Kenny Choi. Mother's Day is just 7 days away, and if you still haven't figured out what to get, help is here. Ambassador Kathryn Hall and Jennifer Brown of Hall Winery in Napa have a special connection. They are mother and daughter, and they've brought some Mother's Day inspired wine pairings that will make some great gifts. Welcome to Bay Sunday, ladies.
Thank you so much, Kenny. It is so nice to be here and talk about my favorite holiday of the year, Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. It's a very important one because we want to honor those special moms in our lives. And Jennifer, so we have all this wine, great way to celebrate Mother's Day. What should we talk about first? We've got Chardonnay.
Yes, we do. We have our Chardonnay pairing over here. So I think one of the most important things about Mother's Day is to think about what your mother likes. So if your mother, for example, likes the smell of vanilla.
And Kathryn, do you love the smell of vanilla?
I do.
Do you like, here, smell it. I think it smells wonderful.
Yeah.
It's got these beautiful, rich vanilla scents. So why not give her a nice candle? And then you can pair it also with a Chardonnay that also has vanilla on the nose. So we could all smell this if we want to.
And do all Chardonnays have that vanilla scent to it or not necessarily?
You know, it comes from the wood. So if the Chardonnay is aged in a barrel, then it will get some vanilla scents to it. And so this is our Sonoma Coast Chardonnay that is lightly scented with vanilla because of the wood. So,
And of all the wines that Hall Winery makes, Chardonnay, roughly what percentage of the wines?
It's actually a very small percent, probably 10%, and that's part of our Walt brand,
Right. And then you've got the Cabernets, the Merlots.
yes, I know we have a lot of different wines to talk about, which is so fun.
Okay, and then what's the next one?
So here we have a flower and wine pairing. I figure what mother doesn't love flowers? I think I know my mom does.
She does.
So here we have a beautiful sort of peachy bouquet of flowers, and then we're pairing it with a bottle of rosé that really brings out the color of the flowers. And what we were thinking here is that perhaps for your Mother's Day, you could make the brunch or the dinner for your family, and then take the decorating off of her plate, so that, you know, moms always have to do all the work to make things look nice.
Right.
So make it look really beautiful, and she'll appreciate it.
And maybe what's a dish that goes well with rosé?
So rosé is a lighter wine, so I would suggest serving fruits, salads, maybe some nice cheeses and meats, and a baguette, something like that.
Yeah, sounds good. And then we have the darker wine, the Cabernet, right here. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the Hall Cabernet?
So this is our Hall Cabernet. The name is Ellie's. It's actually named after my mother-in-law. So that's a special thing for us in our family to serve at Mother's Day. But chocolate and red wine are made for each other.
Why is that? It just goes well together? Well,
they're very big. They're both very big in flavors, and also Cabernet tends to have berry flavors. So you remember when you're a kid, like kids often get those chocolate-covered cherries, so that taste of bright fruit and chocolate. This is sort of the adult version. So you put some.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so you have some really nice big red wine with some nice chocolate. I think that's a perfect pairing. I love to get it.
Dark chocolate or milk chocolate doesn't really matter with Cabernets, or does darker usually go well with?
I think darker goes better because it's richer. You actually have some nice dark chocolate in front of you with, I think we have cherries in those. Is that right?
We did put some cherries in those.
All right.
Yeah.
And we got this from a wonderful Napa chocolatier.
Yeah, it looks fabulous.
Yeah.
Looks fabulous.
Yeah.
So we are celebrating Mother's Day in just a week. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that you guys like to do on Mother's Day, and perhaps some of the gifts that you like receiving.
You know, for me, the most important gift is just time. I mean, just give me some time and give me a hug, and that's what I like. And I also think, sort of, one of the things when Jen and I were picking out these gifts, we thought, we want your mother to know that you really thought about her.
Right.
You know, you put thought in. So you know she likes vanilla, so you're going to give her something that has those scents. So you know she likes chocolate, but you want to make it more special. So I think it's the idea of just, you think about your mom and you want to give her some time.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, no, I think in our family we'd like to do experiences. So we're big into hiking, so I usually try to plan something for my mom for us to do together, like going for a hike and a brunch.
Yes, and also that's a lot of time. I like that part.
Yeah, you get to talk, and at the end of the hike, maybe you could share a glass of wine at the end as well if you pack a little picnic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank you for coming here and joining us here on Bay Sunday. As always, wonderful setup and so many options to celebrate Mother's Day. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Once again, Hall Winery providing some of these wines here today. Coming up on Bay Sunday, we have a wonderful segment about the mission and the photography and the history of a special neighborhood here in San Francisco when Bay Sunday comes back. Welcome back to Bay Sunday. The Mission, it's a special part of San Francisco and that has a rich history. Joining us is Dick Evans. He is the author of a new amazing book about one of the most iconic neighborhoods here in the city of San Francisco. So, Dick, thank you for joining us here on Bay Sunday. Tell us what inspired you to delve into this neighborhood, The Mission.
Yeah, well, the genesis of it came from having done a book on Haight-Ashbury several years earlier and getting a lot of favorable feedback and people asking, would I do another book? And I would turn around and ask them, well, what neighborhood would you like to see done? And of all of the feedback I got, The Mission came up most frequently because it's a microcosm of what's going on in the Bay Area, has all the issues of gentrification, of housing issues, human rights, gay rights, all of these issues show up in The Mission. Right. It's very photogenic.
Oh, absolutely. Very colorful. When you when you go through the book, the first thing that pops up is the color.
Exactly. And it's not just the murals, but the old Victorian houses, the storefronts, the shops, the people. It's a real collection. It's a kaleidoscope.
Tell us why, as we take a look at some of the murals here, why is it that The Mission attracted so many different kinds of artists and the artists that we're seeing out there?
Yeah, it's the Latino roots of recent Latino roots, because prior to that it was actually a blue-collar European neighborhood. But it's the Latino roots where muralism really flourished, particularly in Mexico. And that came to The Mission with the Latino population. And it's a way of displaying and communicating publicly. So it's public art. And it's just grown and grown.
And when do you think that change kind of happened?
Oh, in the 60s and 70s, probably 70s, and then into the 80s. And then, of course, it's just continued to grow.
You've talked to so many people while you were working on this book who know The Mission so well, the people, the residents there, people who have businesses there. What do you think is the future of The Mission in the neighborhood?
A very interesting question.
What is it going to look like?
Yeah, you know, many people are worried that it's going to be totally hollowed out and it'll just be a theme park, so to speak. I don't think so. It's got a very strong culture. And there are some very dedicated people who want to protect that culture. And they've taken some steps to define the 24th Street Cultural Corridor. There's a lot of protection of the art now. There's also even been some practical success in getting lower cost housing, which is, of course, a challenge throughout the city. But they've actually had some recent successes there.
And we're taking a look at some more pictures here from this book. One of the things that struck me was also the architecture that we see in The Mission, and you see it in the book as well.
Yes, well, the architecture, of course, similar to other parts of San Francisco, has a lot of old Victorian. It also has a lot of smaller homes than you see in some other parts of the city. And then the storefronts, I think, themselves are very interesting. But that's changing rapidly. You see some of these being torn down, new modern buildings going up, and there's a battle every time that comes up on the zoning agenda. And
one of the best parts about The Mission, some really wonderful parades out there.
The Carnival is a tremendous parade. This year it's May 28th. Last year there were, I think, 80 different dancing troupes present at it. It's really fantastic. We took our two young grandsons to it last year. They were out dancing in the streets with the Brazilian dancers and the Mexican dancers, and it really shows the color.
They were having more fun than Grandma and Grandpa.
Oh, we were having fun too.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about the book. You also have a lot of writers who contributed to this.
Yeah, we decided to make it more than just a coffee table picture book. So what we did, we involved the community deeply. We partnered with Presida Eyes, who are one of the leading muralist organizations. We specifically contacted many of the local residents. We have a lot of quotations, poems, excerpts from other written material in the book. We have this wonderful foreword poem by Juan Felipe Herrera, the United States Poet Laureate, who happened to have spent his formative teenage years in The Mission. Of course, we have Santana on the cover, who liked the photo so much that he requested to license it for 50 posters for his agents, and then bought 20 copies of the book for his family.
Very nice, nice. Now, you as a photographer, how did you kind of narrow down which ones you wanted to keep in this book?
Oh, it's tough. I have probably between 4,000 and 6,000 images that we started with.
And you narrowed it down to
We narrowed it down. We wanted to select the images that were representative of a group of interests. So you'll see a collection of images around architecture, as you say. You'll see a group of images around carnival. You'll see some around mission mural themes. So you have some on gentrification. There's another section on gay and lesbian rights. There's another one on black power, and more recently, police conduct. And there's one that I like, and they're not distinctive, so we started with chapters, but then we let it just blur together because so many cover different topics. But there's one that I just call fantasy,
right.
Where the muralists are just having a heck of a good time with fantasy figures, and that's a favorite of mine.
Yeah. Well, Dick Evans, we want to thank you for joining us here on Bay Sunday. The book is called The Mission by San Francisco photographer Dick Evans. It's available online on the website missionbooksf.com, and it's in bookstores right now. Coming up, some tips about how to boost the male biological clock when Bay Sunday comes back after this quick break. Welcome back to Bay Sunday. Women are not the only ones putting off having children. My next guest and his wife spent 3 years trying to have a baby, and in the process, he learned a lot about ways men can actually boost their biological clocks as well. He's here to share his story and some good advice. Stephen Bollinger, welcome to Bay Sunday.
Well, thank you very much.
So what is it that we're seeing out there with men and their biological clocks? What's the message?
Sure. Well, male infertility has increased by 20% over the last 30 years. In fact, the male factor used to be only 20% related to the male. Now it's 40% related to the male on the challenges, the conception. Now, 1 in 6 couples.
Why is that?
Why? A lot of factors, but a lot of it deals with estrogen. We have estrogen and estrogen-like products in our food, in our water system. All these things heavily affect us. When our estrogen's high, our sperm count is low. So male infertility now is a growing concern, and age does have a factor as well.
And share your story with us.
My wife and I were trying to conceive for about 3 years, and we did have challenges on our path to conception. A lot of that had to deal with unknowns. We had no idea what was wrong with us. Neither one of us were diagnosed with having a problem. Over time, we were able to overcome that, and we figured out a way to kind of nudge the stork.
And how do you do that? That's the big question of the day, right?
So there are do's and don'ts.
Right.
So on the don'ts side is alcohol. Alcohol affects the sperm motility and affects the ability for it to mate appropriately with the egg.
So 1 or 2 glasses will affect it, or are you talking about large consumptions?
I'm talking about we need to slow it down considerably. You know, every on the weekend or something like that in moderation is fine. But if you're trying to conceive, it's best to kind of remove it from your diet for a while.
Okay.
Smoking, absolute worst. It has so many negative impacts to giving you lower sperm count, mobility, as well as embryo extension, allow it to stay in the embryonic state and grow. Right. So smoking is bad.
What about certain types of physical activity? A lot of people say biking to avoid that.
What we want to do is keep them cool. So we don't want to be wearing, tight boxers and briefs. We don't want to be exercising extensively or in hot tubs over time periods. It's just trying to keep everything healthy and not overheating certain areas of our body. The do side, so we talk about all the negatives,
all
right?
the don'ts,
Let's think about what we have to do,
okay.
right? Folic acid, leafy green vegetables, fruits and vegetables, citric fruits, avocados are hugely impact of baby health for the male. So take that, consume that, try to get a healthier diet and healthier lifestyle. Figure out if your doctor has you on prescriptions for anything else and you're trying to build a family, find out if those drugs that you're on have any impact on your fertility or ability to conceive. But what's most exciting is there's a new technology out called the stork. It basically bridges the gap between natural intercourse and those more aggressive treatments like intrauterine insemination and in vitro fertilization. Basically, doctors have used this approach for years, and what we've done is try to make it condom-like in collection and tampon-like in delivery and removal. So now you can increase your chance of conception by doing it in the privacy of your couple's home that was used to be done only under a physician's care.
And exactly, without getting into too many details, do you think that this has worked? Have you talked to friends,
This product is extremely successful. The company constantly gets, every day, constant positive feedback on the success rate. The challenge is people have been trying for 5 or 6 years. They've gone through IUI, they've gone through IVF, they haven't had success. But when they've used the stork, they have.
And this product is FDA approved?
It's FDA authorized to market. It's been studied by the FDA as well. So yes, we are in the market. It's on the counters of CVS, Walgreens, Target. So it's readily available now in that family planning section.
What have you talked to, or what have you heard from couples who are trying to conceive when they've gone through IVF and other different types of ways to conceive and they fail? What have you told them?
Well, listen, sometimes everyone just needs a nudge on the path to conception. It can cause so much additional stress to the family, it causes so many additional problems. They need to relax, they need to stay healthy, and it will happen. Only healthy couples have a 25% chance per month of conception. So most normal couples, it takes about 4 months to conceive.
Right.
So they just need to breathe, relax, and look for what can benefit them in the marketplace today.
And hope that luck is on your side as well.
Absolutely. They need to know when they're ovulating. That's also very important.
We want to thank you for joining us here this morning and the products that you've shown, as well as some of the advice that you've given. Thank you so much for joining us here on Bay Sunday.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Coming up on Bay Sunday, celebrating On Lock, a world leader in senior care, when Bay Sunday comes right back. Welcome back to Bay Sunday. Since 1971, Unlock has been helping seniors lead full and healthy lives. And here to tell us more about it is the organization's CEO, Grace Lee. Welcome to Bay Sunday, Grace.
Thank you, Kenny.
So Unlock, tell me how it has been helping seniors in the Bay Area.
Well, our mission is to try to take care of seniors and help them live independent and full lives in the community for as long as possible. So we have a full range of programs along the aging continuum that help to support independent seniors, maybe just newly retired, all the way through frail seniors who might need nursing home level of care. And we provide the full range of activities, programs, medical care, depending on which program you're in. And that really helps to just promote independence and the ability to stay part of your own community.
Right. And how does Unlock differ from other groups out there that are trying to help seniors as well?
Well, one of our programs in particular, the Unlock Lifeways program, we provide not only insurance sort of benefit of it, but we're also the providers of care. And in that particular model, the range of services really is across every setting. So you imagine a frail senior who the average age is 82 years old and might have some levels of need for support in the home, maybe goes to the hospital. And so when our services are providing coverage to meet all of those needs, you wouldn't expect that we would be anticipating the kinds of needs that a person would have, let's say, for example, in the hospital. We recently had somebody who had to go, but she has a pet at home, right? Living in the community, you're in your natural surroundings, the things that you love. And one of her concerns in going to the hospital was, who's going to take care of my pet?
Of course.
And so the care team, we have a full professional care team, and one of their responsibilities was, how do we help her take care of this pet? Because when she comes home, she's going to want to return and have a full life with her beloved animal. And so that was part of the care team's responsibility, was to integrate those things and be able to have her be ready to come home and be happy again there.
And Grace, what's the outreach like? How do you guys determine who needs help out there? Do you really rely on seniors and their families to come to you, or is it the other way around?
It's both. It's really, one of our biggest successes really is word of mouth. We work closely with hospitals and referral sources, because when people have high level of needs and care, they know that we're a trusted expert in the field. We've been around for so long. But also, people will come to us and inquire and learn more about the kinds of programs that might help them as their aging declines or their service needs start to grow.
What's the typical cost of caring for a senior from the age of perhaps 70 and up?
Well, again, it depends on what your level of care is. In our program, for the Unlock Lifeways program, actually, if you're Medicare and Medicaid eligible, there's no cost, because those are both programs that would cover the full cost of being in our program. But typically, for seniors who are starting to have health care declines, it could cost from several hundred to several $1,000s a month, depending on what kind of needs you have. Often home care needs for supervision are what people need to be able to stay living at home. So it really can be a wide-ranging cost and expense to seniors and their families.
And this year you have another fundraiser that's really key and integral as a part of this effort to help seniors in this community.
Yes, absolutely. So we're really excited. We're introducing a little bit of a new format. We've got our Unlock Celebrates Gala on May 19th at the Bentley Reserve. And the goal is really for people to come and have a great time. We're introducing a theme that your very own Liam Makelum is going to be emceeing for us. The foodie chap, so people are really excited about having him there. We're introducing 7 up-and-coming Bay Area chefs that will share their specialty dishes. And one fun thing we threw in is that Unlock's Kitchen actually prepares meals also. And so we've invited our own chef to come and prepare some of his specialty meals with his team, and really just for people to come and have a great time, learn about Unlock, and support this really important need in our communities.
Grace, thank you so much for joining us here on Bay Sunday and for all the work that you guys are doing out there in the Bay Area.
Thank you, Kenny. Nice to be here.
Unlock, once again, Unlock celebrates a taste of the good life. There will be food, wine, a live auction, and as Grace mentioned, Liam Makelum, of course, will be there emceeing the event Friday, May 19th at the Bentley Reserve in San Francisco. For more information, you could go to their website, unlock.org. That is it for this week. Be sure to visit our website, cbssf.com. Have a great Sunday, everyone.